right, left, right, there.
This is the story of 10 soldiers with one ambition, to fly helicopters for the army.
That's a bit much, sorry.
Everyone on course 354 has made it through the first 3 months of the training and taken their first flights in a helicopter.
Everybody's probably had those dreams where they're swimming through the air or something like that. That's the closest you can come to explaining it, I think.
Now the hard work will begin and the pressure will start to count.
Right, what did you do there? Too fast.
Trainees on course 354 are up against the clock. They're expected to go solo within just 11 flying hours.
Right, now you have control of the pedals. Okay, sir. And the lever. Okay, sir. Right, just keep the taxi there. Good.
To begin with, they're taught the basics: taking off, hovering and landing.
Okay, vehicles wavering around, just hold everything. Make sure you've got it under control before you continue down to the ground.
They have to learn quickly. The schedule is tight, and if they fall behind at any stage, it may be impossible to catch up.
That's lovely. Okay, I have control. Let's get away from there. Sail clear to the left.
At 32, Staff Sergeant Mark Finch is the oldest member of the course and the most experienced.
Now, what we'll do now, we'll try landing with all three.
He spent half his life in the Royal Signals, but after 16 years, he's disillusioned and wants a fresh challenge.
If I pass out and I become an army pilot, then I'll hopefully stay, well, I will stay in definitely and do my 22 years, and if possible, I'll stay on longer. But if I fail, I've got a couple of stark choices to make. Either I get out, or I go for a totally different trade or job within the army to what I was doing before. Really, this is what I want to do in the army now. And basically, if I don't achieve it, then I've got a lot of hard thinking about what I'm going to do. I'd like to stay in the army. I've always enjoyed the army, but I don't want to go back to what I was doing.
Mark Finch is struggling to hover. It's a test of coordination. Hands and feet have to keep moving together, always making intricate adjustments.
You've got to try and relax a bit more. Just look well ahead, maintain the hover attitude. Okay. Don't get annoyed. Just ease it away, nice and gentle. You have the technology, you've proved that. It's just a matter of regaining control.
If you stay nice and relaxed, try not to think about it, then it all kind of, it just happens, and you're just able to stay there, relatively a small area. But because you start concentrating on trying to stay still, you start to tense up, and it all goes to pieces. You start flying around all over the place, you start over-controlling, making bigger movements than you need to, and then you just start seesawing all over the sky. Right guys, I don't know how we're going to do this.
Nor do I.
But what we just thought is we'll just go through the questions. If anybody has a problem with one, then we'll try and sort it out. Yeah, I know you're fat.
Because of his rank and experience, Mark assumes control whenever the corps are together, even during informal revision evenings.
How do you check the serviceability of the turn and slip indicator?
Why? Precession, that's one.
Since starting on helicopters, the technical workload has increased. The trainees have to sit regular exams on aerodynamics, safety and design. The next exam is never far away.
We have noticed a definite step up in the tempo. and we are expected to learn things a lot quicker now. And I know that things are going to progress even faster as we move on, like a snowball effect. Anybody know what the second rate is?
360 meters.
Yeah, and the next one is
540.
540, yeah.
Before the trainees can go solo, they have to prove to their instructors they can fly a circuit of the airfield at exactly the right height and the right speed.
Okay, you have the controls. I have the controls. You have the controls. Just ease the nose forward to give us 90 knots. Ease it forward, 90 knots.
They practice circuit after circuit until it becomes second nature.
Ease it forward, nose forward. No, we're consistently holding 80 knots. We need to be at 90 knots. That's better.
As well as basic circuit work, the trainees are taught to deal with emergencies. They have to assume the helicopter could lose power at any time.
Okay, practice engine failure go. 142 front stop.
Lieutenant Jenny Firth is being tested on her safety drill.
Okay, mayday, mayday, mayday. 142, 142. Engine failure, crosswind leg. Cut off. And, oh, we did get that so fast.
Okay, I have control.
Harness secured. Battery master off.
The reason we're getting so fast is because you lowered the nose and started diving at the ground.
Yeah.
Okay. Nice entry though, nice turn, no problem with that. Just watch that speed on the descent.
Yep.
This time when we go down, you get to the right point, you start the flare, and you started it at the right point last time.
Yeah.
I want you to say it out loud, okay?
What flaring now?
Flare, flare, flare. Check, level, run on, okay?
Yeah.
Mark Finch's hovering has improved, but he's now having trouble with the emergencies.
Right, follow through the controls.
In this exercise, the instructor cuts off the power and leaves him to land using only the pitch of the rotor blades to defy gravity.
Right, practice engine failure, go.
It's one of the most important and difficult tests for any new pilot.
60 knots.
Engine off, sir?
No, you don't do that, I do
Okay.
that. Keep your hand on the lever.
Sorry.
Okay, 60, yes. Holding 60.
Alright, flare, flare, check, level. Pushing, pushing, pushing.
Okay,
But we're down.
but we're down. Right, lower the lever, hold everything where it is.
Yes, sir.
High throttle.
Sorry about that, sir. I thought,
It's okay.
Mark has only 3 flying hours left to improve his safety drill and make it solo. Time is running out.
I know that I can fly. It's these emergency drills. I must learn the drills, and I don't know them very well, and that's because I know that it causes a confidence problem. Mayday, mayday, mayday. Army Air 146, 146, 146. Engine off. Attempting landing. Middle wallop. Bearing distance. Fuel shut-off lever. Once I've learnt all these checks, so that I can spiel them off speedily, then I think everything else will fall back into place again. Establish auto rotation back to 60 knots. Harness tight and battery off.
Course 354 are at the brink. They've reached the 11th hour and they should all be going solo.
Very nice, very nice. No problem with your takeoffs and landings today, is there?
Nothing.
So because they're so smooth and nice. 201 front stop, downwind. I'm going to jump out now and let you go off on your own.
Oh, no. Right, sir.
Your circuit's ragged, but that will come hopefully with practice. Happy?
Happy, yes. There's a look of fear on my face.
That's it. Nice, gentle takeoff as you've been doing. Don't get tense. Just appreciate that it will be a slightly different hover attitude than you're used to.
These are anxious moments for Jimmy, alone in charge of a £1 million helicopter for the first time.
Salt is 45%, NC is in the green, T4 is 400, CWP is clear.
You'd keep wanting to go solo and having to do yet another sortie and yet another sortie, and then finally you do it, and when the instructor tells you he's getting out, you do get a few butterflies in the stomach. But it lets you know that your instructor has faith in the fact that you can take yourself around a circuit and get back on the ground safely. I wasn't quite sure I had that faith in myself.
Back on the ground, there's been an emergency. One of the trainees, Lieutenant J.P. Miller, has had to abort his flight.
We were just coming in for hover practice, and my instructor said the immortal words of one more good takeoff and landing and you go first solo, and the aircraft burst into flames. Not quite that, we're just hovering over there, and we saw a whole load of fumes in the front of the cockpit. So we just landed on, he took control, landed on, and we just shut down together. I turned off whatever switch I need to.
What's happened, do you think?
The battery's just overheated. Just the hot weather, I'm not sure. I just asked my instructor, he said it happens occasionally. Act of God or something, suddenly the helicopter got fumes everywhere. Oh well.
To the right.
I think the first solo is quite a hurdle, but it's a big boost to your confidence. And once you've done that and you know that you're capable of flying a circuit and landing it safely, then it's going to boost your confidence for the other exercises that you're going to have to do afterwards.
Hello? Is that you, David? Could you go along to the steward's crew room, please, and ask Staff Finch to come up and see me?
Always remember, if you have an emergency, doors and harness. Always follow them.
Everyone on the course has gone solo within the allotted time.
I've already been in and off.
Everyone except Staff Sergeant Mark Finch. His flying still isn't considered safe enough.
Your instructor has been to see me, and we've had a discussion, the result of which I now have to tell you, you are on review. So, first of all, do you understand the situation
Yes, I do.
that exists? You're on review. The reasons that you fail to meet such standards, as far as I can gather from the instructor's written reports, you know we write these 50, 60
Yes.
books, is first of all your division of attention is poor, and your awareness is poor. Now that's big major things, is big block words. But what you have to do is find out specifically what you're doing wrong and ask your instructor how to cure these things.
Being on review, Mark will now be isolated from the rest of the course and given 4 extra flying hours to sort out his problems. He must go solo in this time, otherwise he'll be thrown off the course.
On the controls. Make sure a nice stable hover. It's clear below and we're going to land, okay?
Mark's safety drill has improved, but now he's become so nervous he's having trouble with the basics again, his hovering and landing.
Relax. Stretch those fingers and toes. Right, back on the controls. Cue control.
No control, sir.
Okay, Takeoff checks aren't required on this one. Okay, and back up into the hover. Up to 6 feet. A little bit too close to the ground there. Okay, right, control the hover. Have a good look out. Fire control.
Yeah, control.
Okay, to worry.
What happened there?
You just weren't concentrating on your hover enough. 222, flying downwind. Looking out to the right. All clear? All clear, sir. 086 links, finals, running lane dead, right spots. Just allowed the aircraft to take control of you when you were hovering out avoiding those.
They keep telling us, you know, you've got to try not to let it bother you, because the more it bothers you, the worse it becomes. But it's very difficult not to let it bother you. Very difficult to put that kind of thing to the back of your mind, because you know that it's, you know, it could be a potentially big, it could be a very big problem that may get me kicked off the course if I don't get it sorted out. And that thought preys on my mind. That fear of getting kicked off the course really does start to bite.
After 3 review flights, Mark still hasn't gone solo. Now he has only 1 flight left to prove himself.
You don't want to see anybody on the course struggling. We want to all get through and all help each other get through. We'd like to have a wings parade with 10 people on it. So naturally you do get a bit guilty almost that you've been able to go on and break the solo barrier. But you have to realise that anybody's liable to go on review for whatever reason. It's bound to be a bit of a shock when it happens. But it's a system that's been established to try and help you get over whatever problem it is you're having at the time with your flying and get back on course. And I'm sure Staff Finch will be going solo on Monday. I hope so.
That it's on, press the reset. If it still doesn't work, turn it off, land. I'm going to lose.
It's make or break day for Mark Finch, the day of his 4th and final review flight. He's hardly slept due to nerves. He simply must go solo today.
Then press reset. The more you think about it, the more you have to sit and stew about it, the worse it seems. I just want to get out there and prove that I can do it. Compass.
Mark's last flight is with one of the top military examiners. He'll make the final decision whether Mark is good enough to go solo.
135 climbing wheel. Okay, you're clear on the left.
Mark's career is on the line. This is his last chance to prove he has a future as an army pilot.
All I want you to do is fly your surface as normal, and then I'd like to see some landings.
Big jumbo way over there, sir. Coming too far, that way.
keep the speed on. Clear right and clear above. Right, clear left. Okay, you're clear on the left. Clear again.
Halfway through the flight, Mark has reason to be confident. He's managed to put aside his nerves and fly 2 good circuits. "50 minutes in and the flight reaches its climax. Mark's circuits have gone well, but before he can go solo, the examiner wants to see a good smooth landing. Mark keeps trying to make that final landing, but the pressure is getting to him.
It's okay. Okay, I have control, just relax. Obviously that's the problem, isn't it? It's just that last little bit before you get to the ground.
The examiner has taken control and ends the flight.
Back. I think I've seen enough. I'll bring you back from here.
Mark can't help but fear the worst.
Right, door clear.
We saw your last landing. You were there and then you went back up.
Yeah, that's right. Well, I got close to the ground. I was so tense, I knew I was tense, and I felt it start to wobble a bit, and I thought, no, sorry, I'll pull back up out of this. Yeah. When I came up for, I think it was the 2nd or 3rd time, I thought, you know, this is really getting a bit mad. He gave me plenty of time to have a good crack at it, but in the end he just said, you know, he worked hard enough.
It's not over yet.
Yeah, but it's just annoying because I was so close. If I knew I'd been able to land it then, I felt sure he would have got out and let me go and do a solo. So
it's not over. I mean,
no,
they can still make a decision upstairs to give you another hour or so.
Yeah. Well, he said that's all there is. I mean, but now, of course, they're going to look over the whole course. You know, got to take into account the whole thing.
Hello, staff. Would you like to take a seat? Take your hat off and relax. Now, we've got to the crunch time. We've reached a point really where we can't progress any further, and it's really, I think, the limit of your ability that we're facing. You have addressed a particular problem and you've eventually been able to overcome it to a reasonable degree, but then in so doing you've deteriorated in some other area, and consequently we're into now what I would call a vicious circle. We get you out of one problem by working at it, and you've then allowed other things to suffer along the way. Even if we were to allow you enough time to go solo, and we've really given you quite a bit more time now, we could get you solo eventually, maybe in another couple of hours, maybe 5 hours. But you've then got the next hurdle to overcome and so on. And the pressure that you'd be facing would be just so great, it would damage you. So, as a result of that, and having looked through your reports at this stage, I'm really left with little option but to recommend to the Commandant that you be suspended from flying training.
You got 2 quid for a big bird?
No, that's it.
So, gentlemen, Mark has been suspended, and he's going to have some leave until Monday, then we'll sort out all the paperwork. If we can give him a bit of support now when he needs it, and we'll sort him out next week. Thanks,
sir.
Cheers.
I could have made it if they had the time. They didn't have the time, so that was that. It's all over. They said they'd try and get me a good posting somewhere, you know, whatever they can. And that'll be it, really. A few weeks, well, I don't know, maybe a week or so's leave. And then back to the good old Royal Sigs.
Fine call. Can I have the call?
The call. It only gets more difficult from now on in. This is relatively simple. They don't see it as simple. They see it at that stage as being a huge hurdle. But this is the lowest of all the hurdles they're going to jump over. And the moment they're over this hurdle, the next hurdle is there, but it's actually higher, and so on all the way to the end of the course. With his profile and his inherent problem with division of attention, his awareness, indeed his anticipation, he had trouble identifying that something was going wrong and he had to do something about it. He would never have passed the course.
Yeah. Cheers, mate. Thanks very much. Cheers, Richie.
Cheers,
so we set an example. Oh, God, this is going to make me cry. Cheers.
You didn't go on camera, did you?
Not at all.
Oh, good.
This is a bike. Permission for bottom lip to wobble to.
I feel that I could have got through, and maybe I would have scraped through, but I think I could have done it. Had I just managed to get that solo, then everything would have come so much easier, and I could have dealt with whatever else they had to give me. I enjoy flying, just for flying's sake. And unfortunately, that's all I can take away with me now, is the experience of having flown. Just being up there, being free, doing what you want to do, just being able to control the thing. It's been terrific.
Long gloves.
Helmet and mic.
Helmet and mic. Carrying bag.
Mark Finch will be sent back to the Royal Signals and then posted to Northern Ireland. He's been told not to reapply for the pilot's course.
What went wrong then?
Well, cut a long story short, in the end, I couldn't land it.
Couldn't land it. It's a good life, isn't it?
Yeah, there we go.
Course 354 have had their first casualty. How many more will suffer the same fate before the end of the year? The 9 remaining trainees know that the hardest part of the course still lies ahead.
Every single one of you will have a hurdle on this pilot's course.